Hello, my name is Corey Bacon, and I'm going to be talking to you today about ancient Greek influence on today's architecture. What do the University of Virginia, New York Public Library, and the Irish Houses of Parliament have in common? The way their buildings are designed were heavily influenced by our friends, the ancient Greeks. In fact, not only were these building designs influenced by the Greeks, a lot of the towns and cities today have some kind of Greek influence when it comes to how they were built. Even your own home may have some kind of influence from ancient Greek architecture. How did the Greeks come up with their ingenious and beautiful designs? Follow me as we take a journey into the past to find out. Temples. Something that the Greeks are well known for is their massive and amazing temples such as the Parthenon. The temple's original use was to serve as a home for gods and goddesses that would look over the surrounding community. When it came to these structures, there was three typical styles: Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian. Doric style includes columns that have no base and a simple capital along with frieze noted by changing triglyphs and metopes. Ionic style has columns with bases, scrolled capitals, and a solid frieze. Last, Corinthian style is designed with slim columns that are topped with intricate capitals that look like stylized acanthus leaves, ornately sculpted friezes, and ornamental moldings. Here in America, we took these temple designs and incorporated them into building designs that some of us have seen but probably did not know was influenced by the Greeks. Examples include the crypt in the U.S. Capitol building, which is Doric, the Cochise Resident Hall on campus, which is Corinthian, and the Jefferson Memorial, which is Ionic. Theater. From your middle school to Broadway, we have all been exposed to some kind of theater in our lifetime. Did you know the idea came from the Greeks? I sure didn't. The first known theater was traced back to the Minoan civilization on Crete back in 6th century BCE at the site of Phaistos. The theaters were originally made from wood but later would be replaced with stone. All the theaters were built on the slopes of hills to ensure all of the audience would be able to see the performance. The stage where the performances would take place was a semicircle in shape and had entrances from both the left and the right sides. There was even an orchestra section, which is where the chorus would stand, sing, and dance. It is also said that there is a possibility of painted scenery being used as backdrops depicting different things such as temples, palaces, or caves. Today's theaters take a great deal of influence from these ancient designs. The seating is arranged the same on a kind of a slope where the bottom row is lower than the back row. Most stages now are rectangular but still maintain entrances on both the right and left sides, and more likely than not contain a place for the orchestra to be, probably somewhere the audience can't see though. Of course, we also still use backdrops to depict the desired scene the writers want us to see. Another adaptation of ancient Greek theater would be our modern movie theaters. Alright, last but not least, we have urban planning. Today's cities took a lot of planning and designing in order for everything to fit and be organized. Well, we can thank our friend Hippodamus, who led in directing the rebuild of the city Piraeus. Aristotle credits him with inventing the art of city planning. He is responsible for coming up with the orthogonal street grid, or chessboard plan. Example of this is Manhattan, New York's roads are in a grid of perpendicular lines. Hippodamus also envisioned that cities could be a place where people could live and work in. In today's modern urban planning, we can definitely see how Hippodamus's ideas have been implemented. Cities tend to be designed to have parts where businesses can be established and other parts where people can establish housing. In cities like Tucson, you can see how the use of orthogonal street grids have been used. Most of the roads run perpendicular to each other. From temples to urban planning, it is safe to say that we took a lot of ideas of architecture from the Greeks. There is even more architectural designs that we can give credit to the Greeks, such as housing and gymnasiums. I think it is safe to say that without Greek influence, we wouldn't have a lot of the great stuff that we have today, such as temple-influenced buildings, having functioning modern theaters, and even have organized cities, although I'm sure someone would have come up with something eventually.